Finding the right balance is the challenge. There's a balance between how much time you dedicate for the business, how much time you dedicate for the family. Sometimes you get so involved in the business that the family starts complaining.
Welcome to the Adriana Ostapenko podcast. I'm here with a special guest. This is my husband, Anton Ostapenko.
Hello.
I believe it's your first time on a podcast, is it not?
Yes, it is. I've never been on a podcast before.
So this is special to us, obviously, and we're going to see how the conversation is going to go. We just want to offer as much value as possible. I started this channel because when I started investing in real estate, I knew nothing about investing, and it has absolutely changed our lives. So if I can educate, give you information, tips, and inspire you to do the same, that's what the purpose of this podcast is for. So welcome, Anton.
Thank you. Honored.
Tell me about yourself and what you do.
Okay, my name is Anton Ostapenko, and I run a construction renovation company called Master Homes Contracting. We've been in business for over 15 years, and we have been serving our clients in GTA area, Ontario. We are dedicated to the business and growth. We're dedicated to our clients to deliver the best results possible for their needs, but very transparent, and we deliver the best results possible for the client for the ultimate experience.
Awesome. Thanks for that breakdown. Something that really helped us in real estate was our construction experience. It gave us the confidence, as much as it was hard and we didn't know much about what we were doing at first. It gave us confidence to get into a renovation project because of our construction experience. So our very first, I would call it real estate investing project, was our own basement apartments at the very first house that we owned together.
That's right.
We finished, it was an unfinished space. We got permits with the city of Mississauga and finished it a legal duplex, our first house, and got a tenant in. So that was our very first experience in doing a conversion and getting a tenant in place. Tell me a little bit about how it progressed from there.
Okay, so before we actually became real estate investors, we were doing different things. We've been trying things out. I was working for an engineering company for 4 years, and getting back into construction was basically one of the best things we did, because it was a chance to open our own business. So once we started running our own business, we felt like there's more control on our finances and what we need to focus on. Getting in the real estate market, we opened our horizons even more. When we started our construction company, it was a tile installation company, so it was very limited to what we were doing. But once we became real estate investors, now all of a sudden we had to know how to do everything. And even though they teach you, don't try to learn everything, because we were in construction, we felt like that area we needed to expand. So in our real estate journey, we started small with the basement, and then it progressed into legal fourplex in Hamilton, which we did in about 6 months. It was a lot of hard work. Both Adriana and I, we were hands-on and dealing with all kinds of things with the city and regulations, and we were hearing a lot of no's, but then we persevered and we learned our way through this process, what is allowed, what we can do, and where we can become creative, find creative solutions.
Yeah, so the basement being the first one, and then we went to this fourplex conversion, and then another fourplex conversion, and then another one, and then a triplex conversion, and we just kept doing the same model over and over again. Once we went through the hardships of learning the first time, it became easier the second time, and not easy because it was all a lot of hard work, and it was very hands-on for both of us. You were on site every day, so was I. We were laying flooring and underlayments, and dealing with the tenants and dealing with the city and permits and inspections. So we were both really hands-on on a lot of the projects that we've done. But it got easier, and it really made a big difference of all the experience that we gained there. What would you say for investors that are looking to do conversion projects, taking a single family home and converting into a duplex or triplex or fourplex? What would you say are the top 2 to 3 things that they should be aware of when converting apartments?
Okay, so when you're dealing with duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, these are the hardest to get approved by the city. So just be aware of that. It's you need either a professional who will create drawings for you and a contractor who will oversee the process, because there will be a lot of inspections, a lot of regulations that need to be met in the process. So I guess just be prepared that between duplex, triplex, fourplex, these are the hardest, and that's what I also heard from the city inspector. They're the hardest. They're very heavily controlled and regulated, these projects. Now it gets easier as it becomes multifamily, or if you stay with a single family. The regulations are less tight than with duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes.
I think part of the reason why and honestly, in terms of zoning, it's gotten easier in some locations because the city has been pushing for density. Mm-hmm. So like in places like Toronto and some other places, they've just automatically allowed for you to add a second unit or a third unit without needing much, making a much easier process. Logistically, in terms of the construction side of things, the reason why it's challenging is when you're converting a family that was originally built to house one family and now you're going to be housing multiple families, they have to be fully separated units. Fire separation is one of the biggest items that they're looking at, and that's what makes it difficult. You have to meet all the regulations on the fire separation side of things, as well as HVAC. So again, you're taking one system and you're trying to share between all these different units. So there's a lot of calculations for safety, noise control, fire control that the city inspectors will request when you're doing this. So as Anton said, your process starts with a drawing, starts with the right design and the right team that knows what the regulations are. It's also specific per municipality. Every municipality, although we're all following like in Ontario, the Ontario Building Code, every municipality will have different requirements and requests and different inspectors as well. So you just got to be mindful and know what your market is, hire a local contractor that knows what they're doing, that can navigate through all the steps with the city.
That's right. First and foremost, the design comes first. Then the city has to approve, that municipality has to approve of the design. And then from there on, basically following the process, your inspectors will tell you what to do next. Definitely to save costs, to save time, you need to work with an experienced contractor. Otherwise, you will have a lot of delays, and sometimes you will have to redo things that are already done because of certain regulations.
So what are obviously one of the biggest things about doing renovations is the cost. Renovations can be quite expensive. What would you say are the top expenses that an investor or a homeowner should be aware of?
During renovation, top expenses, labor is the first major expense. So managing labor is important. Sometimes there is too many guys on site and they're just not being as efficient. Sometimes there's not enough guys on site and then the project is not going as fast as it needs to go. So secondly, it's materials. If you buy in bulk, you can save quite a bit. Knowing your suppliers is important. So a regular homeowner will probably go to Home Depot and things are marked up 40% there. And maybe your contractor will still charge you their cut on the materials, but it will still be more beneficial for you. if you go with a contractor who's experienced and who knows their suppliers.
That's a good point, because I remember when we were first setting up relationships with suppliers, most of them will not work with like an end user or homeowner. They want to work directly with contractors. One is for just part of the regulations on who they're distributing their supplies to, but also they want volume and building that relationship. So being able to access somebody that can get discounted prices is ideal here. I think on my end, we're doing a large renovation on a building in New Brunswick, and the highest expenses that we have there are the more skilled trades that you could think of in a building or in a house, which is plumbing and electrical, HVAC as well. Especially if you're doing a conversion, there's quite a bit of components there. These are trades that require licenses, and also even materials to bring into site. It requires quite a bit of planning. Ultimately, most of the things that go behind your walls are what's going to cost the majority of your project overall, or take quite a bit of chunk of that expense. How can homeowners or investors go about getting like quotes or being able to price out their projects to make sure that the numbers even work?
If it's duplex, you can probably bring a contractor or a designer who can design the project first, and you will pay around $2,000 for an architect to do your drawings. You can submit them to the city and get approved. Once you have the drawings, then you have a plan. Next thing, you will bring a contractor in to give you a quote, and they will give you a quote based on the drawings. Often I see that these quotes increase, the price will increase down the road as the project progresses. So sometimes contractors price out very conservatively just to win the project, but then in every construction there are unforeseen circumstances. With bigger projects like multifamily units, you'll probably get like a ballpark, and then if you are interested to go further, you'll probably have to pay for the contractor to prepare a detailed scope and detailed quote. What
would you say is, how much should a homeowner and investor set aside for contingencies? You just mentioned, there's a likelihood that price from the quote that you originally got is going to increase. What would you say that a homeowner or investor should set aside as a contingency on top of the price they have been quoted?
It really depends on the project. Sometimes there's a successful project that you hardly need any contingency. And some projects, once you uncover the walls or, realize that there's major structural damage done, then, the price may increase significantly. But like general rule of thumb, 10-15% over is easy on every project. The project may go over. When you're buying flooring, you always buy 10-15% more for cuts. I would say like save that money for any kind of project, just in case. 10-15% is, I would say, a general rule of thumb.
Do you have an average price per unit that you would share based on your experience in doing these conversions? What would you say is an average price per unit?
Well, when we started in Mississauga converting our primary residence, and we put in a unit in the basement. It was a very small unit. We calculated it was about $60,000, but that was 8 to 10 years ago. So since then, everybody noticed prices increased by about double. So 100,000 to 120,000 for a basement reno is a number that you're looking at nowadays.
And that's to convert something into a legal basement apartment. So
that's
we're
right.
Actually in the process of converting this house basement into 2-bedroom units. We have workers downstairs right now. We made the decision to do so because our mortgage is going up significantly with interest rates. We are getting a renewal right now. We were in a fixed mortgage. but we are being renewed, and our mortgage monthly payment is going up significantly. So one of the ways that we're mitigating our cash flow is by adding a basement apartment here and being able to rent it out for good funds. According to our calculations, by the time we're rented out, we're only a few $100s away from where we paying our mortgage before. So for homeowners right now out there that are experiencing the increase in interest rates and the impact on their monthly expenses due to mortgages going up, basement apartments are one good way for you to mitigate that and be able to bring that extra cash into your monthly income. The other thing is there are banks and products out there that can help you finance the renovations so that you're able to put the money into the basements and help you with your monthly expenses. Let's just talk about business for a minute. So obviously we've been in business for quite a bit. We're both business owners, you and I. We have a few businesses between you and I. What would you say are the top 2 to 3 things that you have learned about business ownership?
Well, when people go into having your own business, they're thinking they will have all this time. They're their own boss, so they decide when they want to take vacation, when they want to work, when they don't want to work. It's not quite true. In reality, you work a lot more, especially as you are starting and you're growing the business. Maybe down the road, you can take that time back, and that's the goal. But in the very beginning, you're actually putting in double the time, and often you're not getting paid for this time. You're basically trying to build the company, you're trying to grow, and it's not a straight line process. So it's not like, I put in 80 hours, a week. That means, I'm gonna succeed like within, 6 months. Sometimes you have to go back to the beginning and realize that what you were doing is actually not working, and you have to find a different path for the business. But it is exciting, it is challenging, it is motivating, especially when you have wins. It really encourages you to move forward. You don't have a limit on how much you're gonna make and how much time you can take back. As you're growing your business, you can have your time leveraged a lot better. So it is hard in the beginning, but the motivation is there. So eventually you will have your time back. You will leverage this time a lot better. You will have a lot more income for yourself, for your family, for your kids down the road. You're building generational wealth with real estate and with your business ownership.
What would you say is the biggest challenge that you have in your business today?
The biggest challenge?
I know there's many, okay? I know that there's many, but what would you say is the biggest one?
I think finding the right balance is the challenge. There's a balance between how much time you dedicate for the business, how much time you dedicate for the family. Sometimes you get so involved in the business that the family starts complaining. Going back to you're your own boss, yes, but you also work more than anybody else in your business. Other challenges are you always have to manage between your workforce and your clients, and you have to plan ahead of time so that everything is running smoothly, so that you're not caught by surprise.
There's some big ones there. For somebody that has and is either going into business or has a business, what would your top line advice for them?
Have a plan and be prepared to work. Talk to as many people as possible, especially people in your business of choosing. They can give you some tips, advice. Talk to as many people as possible, and don't talk to your friends and family necessarily because they may not be supportive. talk to your fellow entrepreneurs, people who are in the business. Educate yourself as much as possible and keep working at it.
I love it. You did touch on work-life balance, and I was going to ask you a question about that. I guess on our end, it's not a straight line. Sometimes we're really busy with work. Sometimes it tips over the other direction and we're focusing on our health. Sometimes we're focusing on the family or the kids or the marriage. So it's just really lots of ups and downs and lots of like focusing on different things at different times. It does not feel like a straight line. I think the biggest thing that I realized is health is so important, and I will go through periods of my life where I'm not focusing on my health and I just feel it immediately. Being able to show up as the best version of myself, and that very heavily includes my physical sleep patterns, sleep routine, diet, exercise, all the daily habits that you would bring into place to stay as healthy as you possibly can, makes me a better mom and a better wife and a better business owner and a better leader. And that's really where I'm starting my focus for 2024. As you know, I just started 75 Hard again. We've done it a couple times, and I'm looking forward to this journey now. What would you say are your biggest plans for 2024?
Well, we have our business plans for we have goals that we are trying to achieve in business. We're growing the company, we're expanding. Right now our goal is to have 10 employees. Personal side, we decided last year already, and we're gonna continue that. Family time is important and vacations are important, so we try to take at least 4 vacation weeks per year, once every season, to go out and just spend time with the family and enjoy each other's presence. Yeah, planning a vacation for March. Health-wise, we are health-oriented family. We have a membership to Lifetime, and I love my pickleball games. So continue improving. Really continue improving in that area.
Last question for you. If you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what message would you share?
Life is about now, so live it now. It's not in 30 years when you retire. It's not in the past when you were 20. It is now. So live your life to its fullest. Laugh, enjoy, cry if necessary. But it is happening right now. This is life. It's not what your bank account is. It's not your degrees. It's about the process and the journey, and it's happening right now. So enjoy it and live your life to its fullest.
Thank you. Where can people find you?
You can go to my Instagram page at Callmaster Homes, or our website at callmasterhomes.ca. Also, my phone number to reach me personally is 416-854-4581.
If you are in the GTA looking for construction renovation services geared towards homeowners and real estate investors, if you're looking to finish your basement apartment or renovate your kitchen, bathroom in your house, make sure to contact Anton and his team. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
See you soon.
Yeah.